pulsing through them. This time, it's different. This time, the weight comes off. This time, the sugar goes. This time, the 6 a.m. alarm actually gets answered. This time, everything changes. That feeling, vivid and warm and absolutely certain, lasts about 10 days. By January 10th, the gyms start thinning out. The meal prep containers go back into the cabinet. The meditation apps get buried 3 screens deep. And life resumes its comfortable, familiar shape. Until December 31st arrives again, and the whole gorgeous cycle begins anew. I watched this happen for years. I watched it the way you watch weather, with curiosity, without involvement. A natural phenomenon, a human thing. And then, sitting in a cafe on a gray November afternoon in 2022, watching the first snow of the season dust the street outside, I stopped watching and started thinking. What if this wasn't a weakness to pity? What if it was a market to serve? 2 months later, my first January online marathon generated 740,000 rubles, roughly $8,200 at the time, on an investment of less than 20,000 rubles. The year after that, 1,200,000 rubles. No coaching certification, no medical degree, no massive audience, almost no advertising budget, just a clear understanding of human psychology, a willingness to build something real, and the discipline to execute before everyone else figured out what I already knew. Here's everything, step by step, no filler, no mythology. The psychology first, why January is the hottest month in the history of online products. Before the tactics, you need the theory. Without it, nothing else makes sense. Psychologists call it the fresh start effect. New year, new month, new week. Any temporal boundary gives people the psychological sensation that the past has been erased. Old failures don't count. You get to begin again. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's a documented cognitive phenomenon studied at Harvard and Wharton. When people feel like they're starting fresh, their motivation spikes, their risk tolerance rises, and their willingness to invest in themselves, financially and emotionally, increases dramatically. What does this mean for the market? In January, people make purchasing decisions 3 to 5 times faster than at any other point in the year. They don't haggle. They don't wait for sales. They buy on emotion because right now, in this moment, they feel the window closing. If not now, when? Layer on top of that the specific conditions of the post-holiday period. People are home. The frantic December pace has stopped. They have time to watch live streams, read long posts, think. Their bodies are sending biological signals, heaviness, bloating, a physical desire to move and clean and restart, that February simply doesn't produce. And psychologically, despite having just spent money on gifts and travel and celebrations, people are remarkably ready to spend a little more on themselves. Not on pleasure, on transformation, on investment, on the new version of who they're about to become. This is a perfect storm of purchasing intent. It arrives every single year, on schedule, like the tides. The question isn't whether the storm is coming. The question is whether you're going to be standing there with something worth offering when it does. The 3 niches that own the January market. January marathons cluster into 3 distinct product categories, each with its own audience, its own selling psychology, and its own pricing ceiling. Understanding which one you're building for changes everything about how you build it. The first is fitness and weight loss, the most populated space and the most competitive. Lose 5 kilos in January, flat stomach by February. 30 days, 30 workouts. The audience is predominantly women between 25 and 45. Average transaction values run between 1,500 and 4,500 rubles, roughly $17 to $50. Competition is fierce, but so is demand. There's more money flowing through this niche than any other. You just need a differentiating hook. The second is detox and nutrition. Cleanse after the holidays. 21-day reset menu. How to reboot your body after New Year's. The audience here skews slightly older, slightly more thoughtful, and noticeably more willing to pay. Average transaction values climb to 2,500 to 7,000 rubles. Competition is moderate, and there's genuine room for niche positioning. Vegan detox, Ayurvedic detox, anti-gluten protocols, detox for busy mothers, detox for office workers. The specificity sells. The third, and most interesting, is the comprehensive life transformation marathon. Not just lose weight, not just eat better, become a different person. Sleep schedule, early mornings, meditation, nutrition, exercise, mental health, planning, quitting bad habits, all of it, woven together into a single coherent program. Average transaction values here range from 5,000 to 25,000 rubles. Competition is moderate. The audience consists of people who have already tried just dieting and understand at some level that the problem isn't the food. I chose the third niche. That decision was the most important one I made. How I built a product without being an expert, and why that was exactly right. Here's the question that's probably tightening in your chest right now. Who am I to run a marathon? I don't have credentials. I don't have authority. I don't have an audience that trusts me. I hear this constantly, and I have an honest answer. You don't need to be the expert. You need to be the organizer of expertise. Look at how the most successful products in this space actually work. The majority of profitable marathons aren't built by a single omniscient authority. They're built by a curator, someone who gathered the best thinking from multiple sources, structured it into a coherent journey, and then walked people through that journey with care and consistency. That's a real and valuable thing to do. It is not a fraud. People don't pay for information. Information is free. YouTube has more fitness advice than any human being could consume in a lifetime. What people pay for is structure, accountability, and community. They pay because someone else has already done the thinking. What to do Monday, what to eat Tuesday, what exercise to do Wednesday, and all they have to do is show up and execute. Here's what I actually did. I spent 3 weeks studying the best international practices in lifestyle transformation. James Clear's Atomic Habits, Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning, research papers on detox protocols and nutritional science, the best fitness coaches on YouTube, podcasts. I wasn't inventing anything. I was synthesizing and sequencing the best existing knowledge into a 21-day program with one specific action for each day. Then I brought in 2 guest experts, a fitness trainer and a nutritionist. I offered each of them a small honorarium, 5,000 rubles each, and the chance to promote their own services to my marathon participants. Both said yes within 20 minutes. Now I had a product with genuine expertise embedded in it. I positioned myself as the organizer, the moderator, the senior curator, the person holding the whole thing together. Honest, transparent, and it worked beautifully. The packaging, what people actually pay for. Here's a truth the online business world doesn't discuss enough. Your content is about 30% of your product's success. The other 70% is packaging and presentation. That sounds cynical. It isn't. It's just how human attention works. I named my marathon Reboot, 21 Days of a New Life. Not weight loss marathon, not detox program. Reboot, one word that captures exactly what January feels like. Not get better. Reboot. Like a computer that's been running too many programs for too long and needs to be turned off and turned back on. The promise was specific, honest, and measurable. In 21 days, you'll build a daily rhythm, feel lightness in your body, eliminate 3 key habits that are holding you back, and enter February as a different person. I didn't promise weight loss in kilograms. That's a medical claim I can't guarantee and shouldn't make. But feel lightness? That's true and deliverable. The format was a private Telegram channel plus a participant chat. Every morning at 8 a.m., a new daily task appeared. 3 times a week, a live stream, me plus one of the experts. Weekly check-ins where participants posted their progress. Friday Q&A sessions. I chose Telegram because people are already there. No app to download, no password to remember. The barrier to entry is 0, which means the barrier to returning is also 0. For social proof, which I didn't have at the start, I ran a free 7-day mini marathon 3 weeks before the main launch. I took 40 people through it from my small channel, gathered their testimonials, screenshotted their messages. That became my proof of concept. For the visual identity, I spent 3,000 rubles on a designer who produced 3 images, a course cover, a day-by-day program breakdown, and a before/after card. Not before/after bodies, but before/after states of mind, feelings, energy. 3 images covered everything I needed. For pricing, I built 3 tiers. Start, 1,990 rubles. Channel access, daily tasks, community chat. Progress, 3,490 rubles. Everything above, plus personal feedback from a dedicated curator, not me, an assistant I hired for 15,000 rubles for the month. Transformation, 7,900 rubles. Everything above, plus 2 30-minute personal calls with me, plus a private VIP participants chat. 3 tiers exist for one reason, anchoring. The middle tier always sells best, because it feels like the rational choice compared to the expensive option above and the basic option below. This is not manipulation, it's clarity. You're giving people a framework for making a decision that serves them. The launch. How I signed up 280 people, starting from almost nothing. I had roughly 1,100 subscribers in my Telegram channel. In the online business world, that's considered no audience. I used 5 acquisition channels simultaneously, and their combination is what made it work. Channel 1. Partnerships with other channels. I reached out to 30 Telegram channels in the health, psychology, and self-development niches, audiences ranging from 3,000 to 50,000 subscribers. The offer? Promote my marathon, earn 30% commission on every sale through your link. No upfront cost to me. 8 channels responded. 7 produced at least some sales. 2 alone generated more than 40 sales each. Channel 2. Targeted advertising on vKontakte. Budget, 8,000 rubles. Targeting. Women aged 28 to 42. Interests in fitness, healthy eating, yoga, and meditation. All of Russia. The ad was a 40-second video of me speaking directly to the camera in natural, unscripted language. Result: 94 registrations, approximately 85 rubles per lead, 38% conversion to payment. Roughly 35 paid participants from a single campaign. Channel 3. Expert collaborations. The 2 experts I brought into the marathon told their own audiences about it. They had every reason to. They were featured. Combined, their audiences contributed approximately 60 registrations. Channel 4. Referrals from the free mini-marathon. The 40 people who completed the free 7-day version received an offer to buy the full program at a 40% discount. 22 of 40 purchased. That's a 55% conversion rate, the highest of any channel, and it cost nothing beyond the time I'd already invested. Channel 5. Personal messages. I wrote to 80 acquaintances, not asking them to buy, but asking them to share with anyone who might be interested. About 15 did. That produced another 20 to 25 sales. Total for the first launch, 284 participants. 180 on the start tier, 78 on progress, 26 on transformation. Revenue, approximately 835,000 rubles. Expenses, advertising, designer, experts, assistant, partner commissions, miscellaneous, approximately 146,000 rubles. Net profit from the first launch, roughly 690,000 rubles. I remember the morning I saw that number in my spreadsheet. I was at my kitchen table, holding coffee, reading the same cell 5 times. I genuinely did not believe it at first. What happened inside the marathon, and why almost nobody asked for a refund. Here's where a lot of people get the model wrong. They think the hardest part is selling. The selling is actually the beginning. The hardest part, and the most important, is delivering something worth having. Because a participant who finishes your marathon comes back next year, and they bring 3 friends. The first 3 days were carefully designed to build a behavioral pattern before introducing any real difficulty. Day 1 was called the starting point. No exercise, no diet, just 3 honest written answers. Where am I right now? What do I not accept about this? What does my life look like in 21 days if I do everything? This set a tone that surprised people. They'd signed up for a fitness program and found themselves journaling about their values. The chat filled with messages that said some version of, "I wasn't expecting this. This is exactly what I needed." Day 2 was environmental detox. Not a food cleanse, an information cleanse. Delete 3 apps that steal your time. Turn off all notifications. Spend 1 evening without your phone. By the next morning, the chat was full of people describing the strange, slightly alarming experience of sitting quietly with their own thoughts. Several said it was the first time in years they'd simply looked out a window. Day 3 introduced the first workout, 15 minutes, deliberately, almost laughably short. The goal was not exertion. The goal was precedent. You did it. You can do this. Tomorrow, you'll do it again. This principle, tiny actions, accumulating momentum, came directly from Atomic Habits, and it performed exactly as the research predicted. By day 7, people were asking for more challenge. By day 14, they couldn't imagine a morning without checking the channel. The community chat was alive. My assistant and I responded to questions every single day. Live streams drew 80 to 120 simultaneous viewers. 67% of participants completed all 21 days, an extraordinary number in a space where 20 to 30% completion is considered normal. Refund requests, less than 2%. The second year, how I more than doubled everything. After the first January, I understood 4 things I hadn't understood before. The database is everything. 284 people had gone through the experience with me. I kept them. Over the following year, I sent them useful content occasionally. Never sales, never pressure. By the following December, those 284 people were warm. 51% of them bought again the second year, with almost no marketing effort required. Early bird pricing creates cash flow and urgency. I opened sales on November 1st, 2 full months early, at a 40% discount. By December 1st, I had 90 prepayments in hand. This gave me operating capital, social proof, and a clear signal about demand before I'd spent a single ruble on advertising. The upsell belongs inside the marathon, not before it. On day 10, when participants are already feeling the momentum, already seeing small changes, already emotionally invested, I offered an additional advanced detox protocol module for 1,490 rubles. 34% of participants bought it. No additional acquisition cost, pure margin. Testimonials need a system, not a prayer. I built structured prompts at day 7, day 14, and at the finish line. Not, did you enjoy it, but what specifically changed? Which task was most powerful? And what would you tell a friend? This generated 180-plus detailed, usable testimonials. Those testimonials did most of the selling for year 2. The result? 680 participants, an average transaction value of 3,850 rubles, elevated by the shift toward higher tiers and the upsell revenue, and total gross revenue of 2,618,000 rubles. After expenses of approximately 410,000 rubles, net profit for a single month crossed 2,200,000 rubles. The mistakes that kill marathons before they start, promising the impossible. Lose 10 kilograms in 21 days is a promise you cannot keep for everyone, and trying to keep it invites refund requests, angry reviews, and genuine ethical problems. Promise transformation of process, not guaranteed physical outcomes. You'll build the habits that lead to results is honest and defensible. You'll lose X kilograms is neither, disappearing after the sale. People didn't buy a PDF document, they bought presents. If you vanish after payment, your reviews will be brutal and accurate. Be in the chat every day. Even 20 minutes of genuine engagement is worth more than elaborate pre-recorded content. Front-loading difficulty. The first 3 days must feel almost too easy. The purpose of the beginning is not transformation, it's habit formation. You are teaching people to open the channel, read the task, and do the thing. If day 1 is hard and painful, a significant portion of your participants won't return for day 2. Ignoring the community. The participant chat is half the product. People stay not because of you, they stay because of each other. An accountability partner they've never met in person can be more powerful than any expert session. Moderate the chat, encourage peer interaction, celebrate the people who help others. The community is the product. Thinking short-term. January is not a one-time event. It's an annual business cycle. Every participant who has a great experience is a probable returning customer and a walking advertisement for next year's cohort. Build the relationship accordingly. The value of a single participant, lifetime, is 3 to 5 times their first transaction. Your 60-day launch plan. If you're reading this in November or early December, you have exactly the time you need. In the first 2 weeks, settle on your niche and build your program. Choose one of the 3 categories. Draft 21 daily tasks, 1 action per day, specific and executable. Identify 1 or 2 potential expert collaborators. Define your 3 pricing tiers. In weeks 3 and 4, package everything. Find your name, 1 word, strong, resonant. Commission 3 graphics from a designer. Create your Telegram channel and community chat. Write your sales page, honest, specific, with a clear and achievable promise. In week 5, run your free mini marathon. Take whoever you can find, 20, 40, 80 people, through a 5 to 7 day version of your program. Collect testimonials. Identify what works and what doesn't. Use these testimonials everywhere. In week 6, open early bird sales with a meaningful discount. Reach out to potential partner channels. Start a small advertising campaign if you have budget. Even 5,000 rubles is enough to generate meaningful data. Ask your network to share. In weeks 7 and 8, create urgency around the closing window for discounted pricing. Publish the testimonials you've gathered. On January 1st or 2nd, begin. The minimum viable investment, 15,000 to 25,000 rubles. That's not a cost. It's a seed with realistic potential for a 30 times to 50 times return. The thing I want you to remember: the people who buy January marathons are not naive victims of their own optimism. They are motivated adults who want real change and are looking for someone to give them a structure that makes change possible. They know what they need. They're willing to pay for it. They're asking, quietly, through their behavior, through their purchases, for someone to show up with something worth following. Your job is to build that structure, honestly, with genuine value, with real support. Yes, some participants will stop on day 10, That's not failure. That's the statistical reality of every learning program ever built. But the ones who finish will thank you in ways you'll remember. And they'll come back next January, and they'll bring people with them. The wave comes every year, exactly on schedule. The question isn't whether it's coming. The question is whether you'll be there when it arrives, with something real to offer, or whether you'll be watching it pass from a cafe window again, thinking about what you could have built. Start now. The window is open. It won't stay open forever. Share.